Hey everyone, this is Larry. Welcome back to Today I Feel Like. Today we are going to take a look at the Mele Quieter 2Q Fanless Mini PC and the Mele PCG02 Fanless PC Stick. And we're going to unbox them, try them both out, run some tests on them, and see how they perform. And here we go. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look around the boxes here. And we can see here on the Mele the PC stick here, we can see it says Intel inside, Windows 10, Ubuntu, Gigabit LAN, Ultra HD, 4K Ultra HD, and HDMI video output. On here, a little bit of branding. On this side, we get some specs on here. We can see this is going to be the PCG02, and it is a fanless PC stick. It's going to have the J4125 CPU, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of ROM, and it's going to have Windows 10 Pro, Intel UHD Graphics 600 inside. It's going to have dual band Wi-Fi built in, 802.11ac. It's going to have both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, Bluetooth 4.2, Gigabit LAN, and it's going to have two USB 3 ports on there and one HDMI 4K at 60 hertz, and then one 3.5 millimeter audio jack on there. And also it's going to have a micro SD card expansion slot for storage there. So, all right, looking pretty good. On the Quieter 2 here, we'll look around and we can get an idea what this is going to look like here. Branding. On this side, we're going to get some specs. We can see here it's going to say Quieter 2Q Fanless Mini PC. It's going to run Windows 10 Pro. Intel Celeron processor, J4125. Graphics is going to be Intel UHD Graphics 600. 8 gigs of memory, 128 gigs of storage. It's going to have dual band Wi-Fi, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Looks like it's going to be the same specs as the Mini PC for the most part. It's going to have 4 USB ports instead of 2, and it's going to have 2 HDMI ports. So it looks like you can run dual monitors off of this. And then we're going to have the same for audio and for the expansion port on there for the micro SD card. So, all right, a little bit of branding on here. Shows us same Intel inside, Windows 10, 2 HDMI, fanless design, Gigabit LAN, Ultra HD, and dual display support. So, yeah, all right. Let's get these things opened up so that we can check them out. And let me go ahead and get through some of this tape here. So let me just cut through this and get through. I don't even know if I cut through there. I don't think I did. All right, let me just see if I can cut right along there. And there we go. And let's see what this one looks like first. And then we will open up the other. And let me just set this knife aside. And let's see here. So let's get this one. It sounds like it has some stuff in there. I think because this one is actually a stick, I think there might be some like mounting equipment in there. So we'll see. But we can see here it says do not rotate antenna beyond 150 degrees, otherwise it will be damaged. So there's that. All right. We can see here it says Fanless Mini PC quick start guide. So it's going to show us everything that's inside. We will check that out there and see how to connect this. All right, and there we go, right up front. That is the Mini PC right there. And look at that. It looks like a giant. Looks like a giant Fire Stick, like a giant streaming TV stick. So, yeah, kind of crazy. All right, well, we have. It looks like we're gonna have the charge port right there, which is gonna be micro USB, and then the 2 USB ports right there, and we're gonna have the HDMI port there so that we can use that. So, all right, on the back here, we're also gonna have it looks like a lock button right there, so you can lock it down. And then we have the Gigabit LAN port, and then we have the headphone jack right there. So, all right, let's see what else we get inside of it. And moving on, and I'm trying to get through this stuff quickly since we have 2 of them. So we're going to have the power supply there, and then we are going to have a HDMI adapter there, so if you need an extension, you have that there. And then you have a couple of different plugs for different areas, and you also have an HDMI extension right there so that you can use this in case you need to get this into just the right angle or something. But yeah, so all right, very good. All right, let's set this over here and let's get this one open, the Quieter 2. Let's see what this is going to what this one is going to look like. So let's just cut along right there and get this off, to get this plastic off of it and see what this one is going to look like too. So all right, let's see here, and let's see, there we go. Get that open, and there we go. Looks like we're going to get the same thing, a quick start guide and a packing list there so we can see everything we're going to get. It looks like it's going to be pretty much the same stuff as the PC stick. And so here we go. Look at that. Now that's just awesome. I mean, this looks like a hard drive. It looks like the same size as a hard drive here. So yeah, this is actually really quite incredible. So anyways, we're going to see on this side, it looks like, I think this is going to be the lock right there. And then on this side, we're going to have three USB-C port, or excuse me, three USB ports on there. And then on the back, we're going to have another one, two HDMIs. We're going to have the input, which looks like it's going to be actually USB-C. Very nice. And we also have the headphone jack and a micro SD card slot, and then we have the LAN port right there. So yeah, you know, one thing I didn't see on this one was the HDMI port, and I don't know where that is. That must be on here somewhere. I do see there's, looks like there's a power button right there, and oh, you know what? Here it is right there. So we have the micro SD card slot right there. So that's ready to go. Okay, cool. All right, let me go ahead and check this out, and it looks like we are going to get pretty much the same stuff, except this one is going to have just the power supply and just the US plug in here, and then this is some sort of strip. I'm not exactly sure what this is for. Maybe it's a sticker or something. I'm not sure what this is for. I'll have to figure that out. But what I do not see in here is a HDMI cable or Ethernet cable. So all right, well, there we have it. So now that we have both of these unboxed, let's go ahead and get these set up and try them out. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the PC stick first, and then we will try the Quieter 2 and run some benchmarks on them and just see how they perform, and you know, yeah, just get a general feel for them. Okay, so we have the PC stick plugged in, and one thing you need to know right away is when you plug this in, you're getting set up, you're going to need a keyboard and a mouse, and you're going to need one that you can actually plug in directly to your PC stick or your mini PC, either via a USB port, or you're going to need one that has the little USB dongle on there, because you're going to need to navigate through the setup screen, and these PC sticks do not come with remotes like, you know, a streaming device. So you're going to need that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get us started and get through this setup process. All right, so it looks like I am pretty much set up here, and now what you're going to want to do is go ahead, and if you have like a Bluetooth keyboard or something like that, now you can go ahead and get this set up. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Bluetooth keyboard set up, and then we're going to go and run some tests. One other thing that I will say is before you do anything, before you actually set anything up, you should probably go in here to your hidden menu, go to your Windows Defender, and you're going to want to turn on your protection so that you don't end up losing all your data by some crazy hacker or something. So now you can go on and turn on the other stuff too if you want, like your app browser control and account protection, but at least make sure you turn on your virus and threat protection. And there we go. I have my Bluetooth keyboard now set up. So now I can start using my keyboard, and there's my mouse moving around right there. So my keyboard is working just fine. All right, very good. Okay, so still remember, before you guys get started with these, you're going to actually need a keyboard that plugs directly into the PC, or you're going to need a keyboard with a dongle, because you're going to need a way to actually connect it directly to the device, because you can't access Bluetooth until the device is actually set up. So now we can go ahead and browse the web, and we can see here it says browse the web with Microsoft Edge, the new browser recommended by Microsoft. I'm going to go ahead and hit get started, and we can see there it's going to go through the process of saying I'm in control and complete setup. And so now I can sync data if I want to. I'm just going to go ahead and continue without signing in because, well, I don't want to. And now we can click this and go full screen if we want to and get everything there. And now let's go ahead and run some benchmarks. I actually forgot something very, very important. I need to connect to the internet. So let me go ahead and do that right now. All right, so I have the first benchmark app open here, and this is Geekbench 5, and we can see here it's going to show us the specs of our computer. So it's going to show Windows 10 Pro 64-bit. It's going to show the manufacturer, the model number, the motherboard right there. It's going to show the memory on here, the processor, and all that good stuff here. So yeah, all right, let's go ahead and run. Let's run the CPU benchmark first. And actually, you know what? Yeah, let's run the CPU benchmark first, and then we'll run a compute benchmark. All right, so it is finished here. Let's move that over there and take a look at the results. So it looks like our single core score is going to be 345, and our multi-core score is going to be 1233. So yeah, there we go. If you're curious to know how this stacks up against, for instance, your machine, just go ahead and download Geekbench, and then you can test it out and see how this stacks up. And we can see some of the other results here if you're interested in any of this stuff. So there we have it. And we have the multi-core performance there. So we'll just scroll through a little bit of that. And yeah, all right, let's run the next, let's go ahead and run the next benchmark and see how it does with those. All right, let's go ahead and run the next test, and this one is going to be Nova Bench. So let's go ahead and start this up. So we'll just hit Start Test, and this will get the test running, and we'll see what our results are. All right, so here we are. We have the results in, and we can see that this says that we are getting a Nova Bench score of 690. And it says it's giving us all the information about our machine right here. It says our CPU score is 637, our RAM score is 164, and it says our GPU score is 115, and our disk score is 44. So yeah, you can see there's some more details in there if you want to see those details there. And let's see, let's go ahead and see if we click this. It says view performance charts comparison. So we'll click that and see if it gives us any comparisons. And it looks like it's going to ask us to sign in for something. So we'll go ahead and skip that for the moment. But yeah, all right. I want to run one last test on here. And this is sort of a web browsing test. So let's see what this is. All right, so here we are on browserbench.org. And I want to use the speedometer test right there. It says Speedometer is a browser benchmark that measures the responsiveness of web applications. So I'm going to go ahead and click that right there, and I'm going to go ahead and start the test. So let's go ahead and get this going, and we can see there it's going to start going through a whole bunch of different just web stuff, and then they'll give us our results. Okay, so there we are. We can see our results right there, and we can see it says 53.8. And we can test it again, or we can see the details. So I'm going to go ahead and click the details there. And we can see it's going to give us all these various details. And yeah, you know, in order to kind of get an idea of what this means for you, you'll have to run this test with your own machine, or maybe with your cell phone or a tablet or something like that, and see what this means in comparison for you. But for those of you who know benchmarks, you know what these scores mean, and you'll know if this is something that will work for you or not. All right, so there we have it. Those are some benchmarks that we have. Let's go ahead and hook up the Quieter 2Q and see how that one performs in comparison to the fanless PC stick. All right, so I went ahead and finished up with the PC stick, and now I grab the Mele Quieter 2. And there's one thing that I want to point out on here before I hook it up, and let me just read it to you. It says, the mini PC does not contain a power delivery controller, can't support the Type-C power adapter with PD protocol, and the maximum voltage limit of the Mele Quieter 2 is 26 volts. Please use the 12 volt / 2 amp power adapter we supplied. So just keep that in mind. So I know a lot of us have USB-C cables with USB-C power bricks that are PD or power delivery, and that may provide too much power and damage your device. So use the power supply that is actually included with your Quieter 2. Okay, so we have the Quieter 2 hooked up here, and it is booting up, getting ready for the initial startup. So we can see there it's going to say just a moment as it starts to load up. And again, this is the first time loading up, so it may take just a few moments for it to get going. Okay, so here we are, and it's asking me to select my language, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. It's also going to want my region, so I'll select that again. And most of this stuff should be pre-selected when you've bought your device, so you should be able to just jump right in. And yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and give this a name, and I'll hit next there, and it's going to ask me for a password. I'm going to leave it without a password for the moment and just click next. And now it says just a moment, and it's going to ask me about setting up Cortana. I'm going to go ahead and click not now. And there we go. We are set up and ready to roll. And we can see it says we're getting everything ready for you. And I have to say, one thing that's nice about Windows now is that it is much faster to get set up. Back in the day, if I used to do one of these reviews with the mini PC, it used to take forever because Windows was just a long, terrible setup process. Now it takes just a matter of moments. Okay, so we are set up and ready to roll there. So the first thing that I want to do actually is just come over here, and I want to go to this little hidden menu right there and hidden icons, and I want to actually go ahead and turn on my Windows Defender. So I'm going to click that right there, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on my virus and threat protection. I don't know why this isn't turned on by default. I think Windows security should be turned on by default, but it's not. You can add your account protection and other stuff on there, but I'm going to leave that be for just the moment, and I'm going to go ahead and click the X to get out of it. And now what I want to do is come down here, and I want to go to the little Bluetooth icon and click that, and I'm going to go ahead and get my Bluetooth keyboard set up. All right, my Bluetooth keyboard is set up, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So now I'm going to go ahead and click out of that, and I'm going to go download my benchmark app so I can start testing some of these some of the benchmarks of this device and see how it compares to the PC stick. All right, so here we are, and we can see that we are in the Geekbench app right here, and yeah, so it looks like we have pretty much the same specs as we did on the fanless PC stick here. And I did forget to run the compute benchmark, but I'm gonna go ahead and run the CPU one again, the CPU one on here, and I'm going to skip the compute benchmark since since I didn't run it on the the fanless PC stick. But let's go ahead and see how this one performs, and we can see in comparison to how one matches up towards the other. Okay, so it has finished up there. Let's go ahead and grab this window and move this off to the side so we can see the results here. And it looks like we are getting 346 on the single core and 1043 on the multi-core. So there we go. I think that's actually a tad bit slower on the multi-core score with a quieter 2 than we got on the fanless PC stick, but it's close enough that I think it's within the margin of error. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's just scroll down here a little bit and see some of the other scores there if you want to check out some of the other results there as far as the single core performance. And we'll go ahead and scroll down a little bit further so you can see the multi-core performance there. And yeah, so if you're interested in any of that stuff, there you have it. All right, let's move on here and let's go to the next benchmark so that we can check this one out. And let's close that out and let's head to the next one. Okay, so here is the next one, which is the Nova benchmark test. So let's go ahead and hit start on here and give this test a get going, and let's see what we get. All right, so there we have it. We are getting a Nova bench score of 536, and we can see our the specs of our machine right there. We can see our CPU score is 238. Our RAM score is 155, our GPU score is 99, and our disk score is 44. And we can click there to see some of the details there. So yeah, I have to say, I can't remember off the top of my head what all the results are for the fanless PC score, but I think this is probably just a little bit less than what the fanless PC stick was giving us, whereas this one here, the quieter 2, seems to be giving a little bit less performance. So all right, let's move on to the last one here, and this is going to be the web browsing test benchmark. Okay, so here we are again at browserbench.org, and we're going to use the speedometer test here to measure the responsiveness of web applications. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this to get started, and we're just going to let that run. Or we're going to have to hit start test, and then we will let this thing run here, and this should get started in just a moment. Okay, so here we are, and yeah, I can tell you, I remember the score from the fanless PC stick, and that one was, I believe, 53, and this one's 35. So we're actually getting slower results with this one here. Now that could just be maybe something that has to do with the internet. I don't know, but it seems like it's giving us slower results. The Quieter 2Q. So yeah. Anyways, those are the results. There we have it. So one last thing I did want to check on is that this computer does say it's supposed to do 4K, Ultra HD 4K. I want to go ahead and just go over to YouTube right quick, and I want to see if this is actually going to play back 4K video. All right, so here I am. I'm on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click this video right here. This is just my the video that's on my main page, so we'll click that one to open that up. And I'm going to go ahead and wait for this ad to finish. And now I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to, I'm going to switch this over and get it to go in 4K. So we can see right there, it's going to be 2160p. So let's click that. And there we go. It seems like it's playing it back. I'm going to go ahead and make this go full screen there. And yeah, it seems to be playing it back just fine. It seems to be working. And it's playing the video back fine in 4K. Yeah, so if you're interested in 4K playback on your PC, this is gonna do it. So that is very, very nice to know. I like that a lot. So big ups. All right. Well, there we have that. I'll have to say this is so far a really, really nice mini computer that you could take with you anywhere. It's kind of crazy how small it is. It's like the size of a hard drive or a cell phone or something. It's really, really small, and it's a full Windows 10 PC. All right, everyone, there you have it. That is a look at the Mele Quieter 2Q fanless mini PC and the Mele PCG02 fanless 4K PC stick. Both of these can do 4K. This one has dual monitor output. This one actually has a HDMI port incorporated right into it so that you can plug this directly into your TV or your monitor. Both of them are incredible. They have very, very similar specs as we can see from the benchmarks. I actually found that this one performed a little bit better than the Quieter 2, but I think the differences were so minimal that it could just be a matter of you run a test again and maybe you get the, closer results or better results on one and not on the other. So, but the results are very, very similar. They have pretty much the same hardware inside, except for this one has a couple of extra ports on here. The Quieter 2 is going to give you four USB ports instead of only 2. It's also going to give you 2 HDMI ports instead of only 1. But this one plugs directly into your monitor or your TV. You don't need an HDMI cable, so that's going to be kind of awesome. So anyways, there you have it. I'm going to leave links to both of these products down below in the video description so that you can check them out. I'm also going to leave links to my Amazon page and my social media contacts so you can reach me elsewhere. And I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.